Oh, good day guys, over here at the pond, the off-grid property. If you followed last week, you saw, or maybe this is the week next, I don't know. Depends how this turns out. It got cold all of a sudden again, and so I don't know if this is gonna, my idea is gonna work. We got the maggot feeder, which has been working awesome. A little bit of footage that I had played out. I left it down there for 2 hours straight just to watch all the maggots drop down there. But since it's turned cold, so I'm not sure if it's still working right now or not. Maybe we can have a quick look and see what's going on. See if we don't see any activity. I don't smell anything right now. So that's a pretty good clue or indication that maybe this thing's played out. There's a few flies laying around. Well, I've disturbed it, and I can smell it. She's still working. Yeah, there's not a lot of activity left in there. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it looks like it's pretty much got cleaned out. So it's time to go on to the next adventure, and I have something in mind. This idea is not going to be as smelly as the maggot feeder, but I'm hoping it's going to be just as productive. So let's zip on over. We got to go pick up some supplies. Going to go to Princess Auto, my favorite store, and we're going to see if we can't pick up all the ingredients we need to make a better feeder for our trout that doesn't smell. This is going to be the ultimate fish feeder, the ultimate light-based fish feeder, and I have two ideas in mind, and I think these are going to work really awesome. Well, this video is sponsored by Manscaped. You guys know I'm a huge fan of manscaping, and I introduced the Lawnmower 4.0. This is the new iteration of the Manscaped brand. Manscaped is a whole thing. It's not just a trimmer. They got all kinds of male hygiene products. For the guy who's got absolutely everything, this might be the perfect Father's Day gift. You can definitely take the dad bod to the next level. Designed for groin grooming. That's right, dudes, it's for your balls. We got this sleek new design, 4.0, completely cordless, wireless, 90-minute run time. What's cool about this, it's got a travel feature. Press the button one time, it turns on. Press the button once, it turns off. But if you press the button 3 times in a row, it actually has a travel lock, which means it won't turn on even if you press the button in transit, which means you're not going to get any annoying vibrating sounds coming from your travel package, if you catch my drift. Not only wireless, but it's also waterproof, so you can do all your trimming in the shower. And of course, as always, it's got that nick-proof technology, so you can get all up inside the cracks and crevices. Manscaped is more than just a ball shaving company. They've got all sorts of extra things like nail trimming kits. They've got foot spray deodorant. They've even got cologne. This is for the complete man. When you use my code, you're going to get 20% off plus free shipping. Use that code BEARDSMAN in the link down below in the description. When you support Manscaped, a company that supports me, you help me make more content for you. They get the mask. Apparently we got to wait in line too, because there's only 15% capacity inside the store. So welcome to Canada. They have brilliant rules and laws, and I'm not really sure if I can film inside, but we'll see if we can't score permission, and if not, I'll meet you back. Whoa. Kevin lost his mask. I'll meet you back here and let you know all the spoils that we managed to get and the project I have in mind. Look at the screws. I think Kevin's gonna be loading up on everything here. This is his paradise.
It's been so long since I've been in a store. We need some zip cut blades.
You need some?
I need some.
I don't need
We
any.
need some. We got to build.
I got to think of my project. So
you need everything. Look at the wire brush. Look at these. Everything is cool. Look at, what are you gonna do with that?
I don't need a wire brush.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Look at nut drivers.
I need to feed fish.
Nut drivers. Look at the nut drivers. You need, like, for $4 you can get all the nut drivers you can imagine.
They do
one of these for your
have
fire. Look at, you can add wood to your fire while it's on fire.
gloves. No, I'm thinking fish feeder. Only fish feeder. So I'm thinking something with plexiglass and a light. I want to go light speed. We're getting maggots. It was dirty. That's something I'm thinking going insect this time. This is off during the day, on during the night. Dusk to dawn light bulbs.
Not a bad idea.
LED. Does that work? Bright living, dusk to dawn. No wires or timers. Off during the day, on during the night. That's the perfect solution.
It's gonna turn on and then it'd be like, oh, it's daylight, and then turn off, and then be like, oh, it's nighttime, and then turn on.
You think the lights are going to confuse themselves?
What?
Trust the technology.
I guess you're gonna have to. Like they're $40.
40 bucks
For two?
It was a pretty successful trip. I got a bunch of different things. I didn't get everything I wanted. I still need some plexiglass or something like that. Kevin thinks he has an alternative, so we'll see what we come up with, but we got to go back to the off-grid cabin and get this thing put together. We're at a small detour. I didn't realize how close Princess Auto was to actually Lyndon Trout Hatchery. Check it out. We're at the pond, and you know what? There's big news about the pond because they're actually going to open to the public. But you have to make a reservation. That's the thing, because we have size limits. So Clark's gonna play it safe, and he's only gonna have groups of 10, but there's lots of room for groups of 10. So you'll have to call in. I'll give you the instructions down below. You guys can check it out. Come on through. Don't worry about me. This pond is absolutely chocked full of hungry trout. So you guys are gonna have no problems catching fish. Bring the family down. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it over there, but it's kind of ribboned off. So there's sections of 10. There's seating areas too. It's all set up. You guys come have your lunch. So definitely give Lyndon a call and book your slot. 18 kilograms?
Yeah, that's right.
So
Four fish.
32 pounds? Oh, it's not that heavy. It's just bulky. So this feed will be turned into trout food, trout biomass. That's the whole idea. And then we get this other system in place. Then we can feed our fish not only with maggots, but also insects, which is the plan for today. Now I can't resist going up to the pond here and grabbing a little bit of the feed. If I could remember where it is, I should be able to toss some feed out here and get a pretty good reaction from the trout in this pond. Now there's a few fish in there. Imagine if these were piranha and you just threw like a human being in there. I don't know why my head went there, but it did. There's literally thousands and thousands of fish in here, and I've been told on good intelligence by one of the employees here that there could be some 7-pounders in here. Traditionally, in past years, you get a trophy for a 5-pounder. A 7-pounder, I can't imagine the fight on that guy. That'd be crazy. These guys will come up for flies, so you can come here and do fly fishing, worm fish, you can bobber fish, you can toss a lure in here. That's the idea, man. That's the whole point of having a trout pond. Kevin's got some feed here. He's gonna toss in, get the experience, maybe catch the bite, and maybe we can see look at that, you know, the smile on Kevin's face to have his own trout pond with just massive trouts.
Ah, they got me wet. Hey.
That's crazy. Ooh. They're getting wet. I'm getting my shirt wet. Oh.
Ah, jeez.
Come on, get in there. Oh,
come on.
I just got soaked.
I don't want to get, they're going to bite me or
They're
something.
not going to bite you. They're soft.
They're soft. I feel like some sort of grizzly bear. Come on.
Catch one.
I can't. You try to. Here, I'll toss the food in. You try to catch a fish. Oh, I touched one.
Just throw it, Chris.
I need a longer arm with nails on it. Bear claws in there. Get them close right here, right nice and tight. Oh, they're too slippery. Okay, so hand fishing trout is a no-go.
Well, you know what? More practice.
That's a lesson on how not to catfish noodle trout. You guys want to see an episode where I try to hand fish a trout out of a pond? I think that would be something. I had thoughts of doing one in the creek, but just never quite materialized. Never had the right opportunity. But as you can tell, there's a ton of trout here, and I got soaked. Those things have no fear at all. Come out, book a trip. Come out to Lyndon Trout Hatchery. This place is awesome. It's a trout fisherman's paradise. Alrighty, well here we are at the shop. This should be like the doodle shop. I don't know what it's called. Kevin's doodle shop. It always seems I got a little project for him in the doodle shop. the craft shop. So I got a couple of pieces of wood ripped up. This is cedar, so leftover stuff. I did have to go pick up some plexiglass. The stuff was super pricey, so unless you can find a cheaper alternative, although it could be just, you know, pandemic pricing, I don't know. But this was about $100 worth of plexiglass. I think it's overpriced, but here we are. And we got a lamp that I use for chickens before. It's a heat lamp, so it's gonna get repurposed. So we're gonna take that lamp out and we're gonna put our other bulbs in here. So that's kind of project number one. The fan here, this was a $20 fan. And I forget what this was, a couple bucks for these lights, and these are supposed to be dawn to dusk lights, so they're supposed to turn on automatically. And then we have a repurposed extension cord here, plastic reused 5-gallon bucket, and then a rope that we got also from Princess out in the last order. And we have a little bit of glue. So what we got to do is figure out how to assemble this, and that's what we're going to do right now.
All those chunks of plywood you saved over time are paying off now. This this offcut of plywood's worth probably 25, 30 bucks. What you didn't mention is this is Eastern red cedar off of a pallet I found, which was gold. They don't care about that, do they?
No, my people don't care.
They do care.
We're just feeding fish.
All right, feed fish.
All right, now we got a beautiful box built. I guess I should make you privy of my idea. So we've got this plexiglass here. So next step we're gonna do is we're gonna fasten this. What we're basically going for is like a really bug unfriendly version of a lamp. This was actually a comment maggot feeder video, and somebody said, you should add some baffles by a lamp. And what will happen is the bugs are going to smash into the side of your lamp and then land in the water. So that's essentially what we're going for here. We'll see if this works. I don't know. I have a pretty good idea that it will work. At least it'll attract some flies here. And I did some light research on whether trout are attracted to moths, whether you use them as food. Some reports have said that they have found moths inside, and I know like it's a big attractor is moth, but other insects too. And basically it'll land all inside the water, and then the trout should target in that spot, just like they have been targeting the maggots. Let's get these panels put on and we'll have project number one complete. Project number two is going to be an interesting one as well. So if you're going to actually build one of these, you should learn the difference between Lexan and
Polycarbonate and acrylic.
the Lexan is a lot more durable, but like 3 times the cost.
The thicker the Lexan, it gets bulletproof.
Okay, well, so one piece is 26 bucks here in Canada. The more expensive Lexan is $77 a piece. So this is a really expensive fish lamp. And had I priced this out before I got into it, I probably wouldn't have done it. So but here we are, making some really cheap fish food.
You know what? This thing is a designer lamp at the end of the day. Like somebody would probably, you gotta do the ever so satisfying peel.
The big reveal.
Ooh, the big peel.
Ooh. That's definitely going to confuse some bugs.
Ever so satisfying. The only problem with this stuff is it gets sort of static and all your stuff's going to stick to it. But
look at that. How schmancy is that?
you put it on your head.
I'm afraid I'm going to drop it. What's this worth?
I don't know.
200 bucks? Don't break it.
It's not going to break as long as you hit the Lexan one.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't attract any bats into this thing. Ooh, and birds. We'll hang it close to the water so we don't have any mishaps.
Like it's not dangly enough. It's got to dangle in the middle.
Alrighty, well there we go. This is, whoa. What happened there? Uh-oh, we just used the light bulb?
I don't know.
She just went and then she didn't go. Did you just bust the light?
I guess because it's got to be dark.
Oh, that's true. It does have to be dark. Why did it go for a second and then not go? We gotta figure out how to make it dark in here. Anyway, that light's gonna hang down there. I guess we got no way to test it. Put a different bulb. Put the other bulb in there. Make sure at least that works. Oh, it's gonna be the bug magnet and smash it. Okay, so that works pretty cool. Ooh, schmancy. This is like an art installation at this point. Like you just put this in an art exhibit and people will walk up to it and be like, wow.
something.
This is an expression of modern consumption. The craftsmanship in here is both elegant and rudimentary, and the simplicity of the light bulb dangling, illuminating a space that is completely useless. And the edges, they're all square, representing a lack of anything natural.
And you still can't reach the light no matter how much you try.
Unless you put a ladder up and go over the boundaries of nature and reach in above it, and it still eludes your grasp. The light is constantly out of reach. I think this is the metaphor that perfectly demonstrates this light, and the insects trying to get it to the light just won't ever get to it. And then they'll end up in the water, and then it'll be a giant tragedy.
Shouldn't we screen the top and bottom?
No, I think once they get in there, they're just going to rattle around and just going to confuse them even more. Still not dark enough. Not big enough.
This is ridiculous.
It's like trying to get a light to hatch. Oh! It works. That's awesome. Technology. That's pretty slick.
Ridiculous.
The light hatched.
Yeah.
See, once it becomes daylight again.
Does it work?
Well, it's probably going to give it a moment there.
How does it know?
How does it know? Hey, there we go.
How does it know?
How does it know? Technology. This is a modern installation of art. It's like the light only comes on when there's darkness and you can never reach it. Dude, this is an art piece. I'm going to submit this to an art installation when I'm done. You think somebody will take it? It's like it's a perfect metaphor for something. And the viewer, you guys can figure out what this art installation really means. What does it really mean? Did I get the blades off?
Stick these things.
So this is gonna be an insect chopper. I've seen a design like this. I think it's called a fish feeder. It's like $300 or something like that for the design. So what we're planning on doing is taking the lamp part, and the lamp will thread through. This is the reused simple lamp. It's gonna go up underneath, and it's gonna dangle from the top here. Whiffer sniffer. We call it whiffer sniffer because it whiffs up the insects. It's not a whipper sniffer. It could be whiffer sniffer. Whiffer sniffer. I don't know. Just made that up. So we just cut the blades off there, and then made a hole inside them, and then we just flatten the end so that it can't pull through those holes we made. I think with time it'll probably get to the point where we want it to be kind of relax a little bit.
Try that. Just hold it like this.
Yep. Ooh, that's pretty schmancy from this angle. You really see it could do some...
Get the mosquito. Oh, you see it?
Do some damage.
It just smoked the mosquito.
Did you get what? You got a mosquito?
Right.
Oh, ouchie. Ouchie wawa. Well, that really did turn out better than I expected. It's got lots of power. I'll take out a bumblebee. No, we don't want to get the bees. The bees won't be in there because we're going to run this at night. The bees aren't out at night. It's going to get those big fat flies.
Oh, wait. It's balanced now. It's not wild.
Just balance on its own. Perfect. Our holding bracket's a little bit wonky. All right, first order of business is we're gonna get rid of the maggot feeder. It's had a good run. Like I said, there's only 4 fish in this pond and it's getting hot. Well, it's gonna get hotter. And so we'll pull it out and then we can rig everything else up over top of the pond here using the same rigging system. This worked really well. If we had more fish in here, we're gonna continue this and we didn't mind the smell, we'd keep doing it. This is gonna be the alternative to the smelly version of feeding your fish. So hopefully it just ends up being a giant insect maggot. Magnet. There's a lot of concern that people had too about using this pipe at the top here, but it did pretty well. It is starting to burn through a little bit. It's done more damage to the pipe than it has to the actual board itself. It's kind of interesting. Kevin's wife thought we were going to hang this up in the cabin as a nice chandelier. We got one GFI. We're going to run it off a battery bank.
Which also has a backup safety.
Right, so But we're also going to make sure that we hang this properly so it doesn't fall in the water. And if you're wondering, people wire these kinds of lamps and lights beside ponds all the time. There's actually a specific light called the fish lamp, and you're designed to hang right over the water. So for people who are like doing bank fishing or fishing off the dock or night fishing, stuff like that, and they want to attract fish to the area, they do it just like that. We don't need to be able to pull it back and forth. Everything's on a timer, read the lights, then we should be good. It's just, as long as we got power in the pack, because this is off grid, it's going to keep working. Three plug-ins. We got 2 for this one, so this one's the more energy intensive one because it's got the light and the fan, the chopper. We'll call this the bug chopper. The bug chopper 1.0, and the other one we're going to call, what do you want to call this? The bug chandelier 1.0. Gondoling lights now.
Probably need a stick. Maybe give a heavier stick.
Heavier than this one.
Yeah, get a heavier stick. Bigger one.
Oh, I almost went in the pond. Looks like we got it out pretty good. It's about in the middle of the pond. It's about maybe 3 feet, 4 feet above the water. We didn't make sure that the thing was hanging down really good. I'd say lower it a little bit, just so that we get it as close as we can to the water without putting it in the water, and that's going to be the kind of the key. So Kevin's just going to let the line out here, and that should do the trick. Kevin was pretty certain he could get it out further than I could. I'm like, no, I did a pretty good job. It's pretty good where it is. Well, whatever. Let him have his go. He can have fun. So it kind of wants a twist. I mean, if this wasn't, we're just going to leave it there, we'd have the wires and everything, but it shouldn't require too much maintenance. I'm a little concerned that we didn't check the propeller on the insect smasher. So I don't know, we might want to pull that back just to make sure it's nice and leveled and balanced, because it is a little bit off, and if it's off, it's going to hit the edge and it's going to make a mess. It's going to be a little bit unbalanced. Whoa, turn it off. We didn't test this flight fixture because we couldn't. You can just plug it in and turn it on because of the light bulb. Now it's shooting smoke out the freaking top of it. Well, we got to pull it. We got to pull it out. And because there's no power on the off-grid cabin, it presents some interesting challenges. If you want to set this up in a backyard pond, it works pretty good. We got the energy pack set up over here under the cube, which is going to keep it safe from any water. And we're running 100% battery power. So what we can do is, I think Kevin's going to stick around and he's going to test it out because he's got to do some work at the log cabin. So he's going to be here till dark, so he'll be able to check and give you guys a report. But you're going to plug it in?
You ready?
Why? Nothing's going to happen. Okay, we got a new light fixture in there. Should be all set to go. We just have to wait for dark now. Oh, the suspense of waiting.
Well, I was told to come check out the whippersnipper trout feeder, and it looks like a chandelier. It's a box with the plexiglass on it with the lights. Like, it's kind of cool that it lights up the entire area. Before I turned the camera on, I saw the whippersnipper bat a moth out of the air into the pond. So it is working. It's dropped unseasonably cool tonight. It's about 10 degrees Celsius right now, so the bugs aren't very plentiful, but I imagine once it warms up, there's going to be a crazy amount of bugs. See the moth? See the moth? Flying around. Oh, it's gonna get... Nope. Come on. Gonna get batted out. Nope. Well, it's safe to say these things are working the way they're designed to work. I just think it's not the right conditions out right now because it's too cold. I think on a warmer night this would work a whole lot better because there'd be more bugs out here. Like, normally I'm out here and you just get swarmed with mosquitoes and other little flies and stuff like that. But tonight there's, like, it's comfortable out here.
Well guys, next day I'm just here to pick up the footage. Kevin did a little bit of footage last night, but I want to show you what we're up to today. We're doing all the chinking on the log cabin here, which is just across from the pond. So we had to put up all the metal lath all the way up. So that's what I kind of busy doing, which maybe why I'm not doing so many updates along with, you know, everything else is going on with the lockdowns. But we got cement, mortar, all that going into the cracks. I'll take you around the front just real quick. This is a sugar shack. So we got the boiler here. That's basically how it started off. It was just going to be a giant sugar shack boiler, and then we figured we could put this awning over the edge here and then house the boiler over here, the evaporator, and then now we can actually use the inside of this log cabin for another living quarter. So maybe once it's done, I can actually do a survival challenge out of here, maybe catch those fish and see if I can't survive out of the log cabin. But you can see it's starting to get dark through these little cracks here versus on this side where you can actually see all the way through it. So that's kind of the last step as far as like buttoning this up. And then of course all the inside needs to be finished as well. Let's go over to the pond. So Kevin stayed pretty late here working on the log cabin. Came over here and he actually told me it was super cold overnight, like really cold, like lack of bug activity cold, but he said it still worked really well. He was actually on his approach, he saw a moth flying around the top and it actually got smoked. So I'll do another update a little bit later on and I'll show you when it's really at high function. But he said for the amount of activity that was going on, it worked really good. And I'm pretty impressed by how this looks. The lantern looks really cool. The chopper, meh, obviously it just looks like an upside down bucket. But I thought what would be cool is to add the chopper to the lantern and then maybe even get those blades a little bit bigger so that anything that flies up inside the lantern will get chopped if it doesn't get disoriented by the plexiglass and drop straight down into the water. I think that would be, you know, the lantern 2.0. Maybe we'll revisit that and then maybe we can put it at the other pond. Stay tuned because I will for sure give you an update when this is in full swing. I'd say I would call that a success. I'm really impressed by how it turned out. That's a bullfrog and I've heard them for sure down at the creek.